We are Mike and Jeannie, and we restore old houses. In 2021, we moved to South Carolina and bought a 120-year-old Victorian house. Follow along as we put the polish back on this Victorian masterpiece.
Welcome back to 1834 Restoration House.
All winter long, we've been focusing on doing work inside and doing restoration and repairs and whatnot. The weather has finally broken into a beautiful spring that's consistently warm and easy to work in. So I think it's time that we spend some time outdoors and get this yard whipped into shape. Unfortunately, this tree here died over the winter, and so I'm going to go ahead and cut that down. This tree here in our backyard is a problem. That branch right there is completely dead, and so is part of that. Realistically, the tree should come completely out. But today, I'm going to take down just this branch right here because it's the most dangerous. There you can see that it's actually rotted down the middle. This tree is in worse shape than we thought it was. There's all kinds of bugs crawling out of there. We've disturbed them. So I'll just go ahead and buck this up real quick and we'll get them out of here later.
Our great magnolia tree is putting on some new leaf blooms and some flower buds. Look at this. There's another flower bud, a bunch of leaves. It's coming out big and beautiful. Time to clean it up.
This thing's a lot heavier than it looks. This one, on the other hand, is more light. There's all kinds of critters coming out of the hole. The first thing I did when I cut this branch, you probably saw me go underneath it. I made a relief cut there, and what that does is makes it to where when the branch gets weaker as the saw is going through it, it doesn't just suddenly break. And it'll actually break at the notch and make a nice clean cut, just like that. If you saw the episode where the power company came and trenched in a power line, this is that trench. And as you can see, after several weeks, the grass is starting to come back up and it's starting to fill in. It'll probably look like this for a season. I'm thinking maybe by next year, it may not even be visible, but we'll see. Or maybe we won't see, I don't know. It depends on whether we're here to see it or not. This section here causes me trouble when I mow because these branches are hanging down so low. I'm gonna go in here and limb these up just a little bit. So let's start with this one here. So I'm gonna go up here with my tree trimmer and see if I can't take that off with the lopper. Okay, that's good. Now, this branch. I'm choosing my cuts very carefully because I don't want to take the whole thing off. And so I'm cutting it right about where a knuckle is. And every time I take one off there like that, it ends up getting a little bit lighter, and then it goes up in the air and is not so much of a problem. See there? It just popped up. So that's not a problem for me anymore. Let's see if I can't take a little bit of this one here. I want to take this off. So I'll put this right up here by the knuckle of this branch here, which is going sideways. See there, it popped up. That's good. Let's see how that looks. That's much better. So the ROPS on the tractor, we'll just brush over these and not hurt anything. These are definitely a problem. So I think it would be best, since pretty much all of this is in the way, and there are no knuckles back here, I think it would be best to just take these particular branches off completely. Okay, and the reason I'm not using the chainsaw is because it's way overhead, and that's a very dangerous operation to be doing. The tree saw or pole saw, on the other hand, can safely go way up in the air, and the blade is super sharp, and so you can cut whatever you need to cut, as long as it's not too thick. I have another one up here that is dead. I'm going to try to get it with the lopper. So I hook the lopper over the branch, and then I just pull down on the wire, and it just lops right off. Sometimes you can do that with dead ones, and sometimes you can't. It just depends on how hard the wood is, how brittle it is, and green wood always seems to work better, but that's looking a lot better. Now I can get the tractor through at least this section. So let's come over here and have a look. Here's another one that's a problem. So I'm going to choose a knuckle right here and just give it the old lopper. There we go. And same thing with this one here. You got to come back just a little bit. I don't know what that is. Some kind of a southern vine, I guess. This kind of stuff grows all over the place. Here's an example of a landscape that's run amok. I mean, granted, there's been 120 years of things happening here, but take a look at this maple tree here. You can see, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or 11 trunks right there. That's the result of lack of maintenance. What happens is sometimes you'll get what are called suckers. They come up from the base of the tree and they come up from a root. They're basically trying to create another tree. And it's important to cut those off when you see those. Otherwise, you'll end up with that. There's another example over there. If you look at the crepe myrtle in the background, you can see where the same thing happened there. The crepe myrtle just kept sending up suckers, and looks like there's an orange cat walking through over there. Interesting. Anyway, that's what happens. Make sure you trim your trees. Make sure you get the suckers off of the roots, and you'll end up with trees that stay looking beautiful. Here's another example of a landscape that's run amok. Back inside here, there was a tree that was probably about this big around. It was a massive tree. Well, that tree probably got rotten, and it looks like it got cut down, and then over time, the tree has rotted away and left a well in the ground. And it probably at one time was a beautiful tree, and it had this beautiful rock ring around it. But it was a really nice landscape feature, maybe 40, 50 years ago. But when that tree left, these other ones sprung up in their place, and all these trees of different varieties just randomly came up. And now it's completely out of control. So if I could draw your attention over here. Now these branches from this random tree that came up, they're completely in the way of mowing. And if I were to cut them back far enough to where they wouldn't be in the way of mowing, there'd be no foliage left on them. So in this case, I'm going to make a command decision here, and I'm going to cut this entire branch from there and cut it completely out and take it out of here. This shrub right here is badly diseased. You can see the spots all over the leaves, and it's old. It's been here forever, and it's really not that great of a bush, and the fact that it's diseased really means it's time for it to go. So we're going to attempt to pull it out with the tractor. We may not succeed, and we may just have to cut it down with a chainsaw, but we're going to give it a try. Okay, put your bucket all the way down. Okay, now rev it up to about 25. Now slowly pick up the mower deck. That's it? Okay. All right, try driving forward just a little bit. Okay, stop. your four-wheel drive on. There. Push it down. Okay, I'll try it again. Moving. Okay, do it. Do it again. Okay, now back up and then go. Do it again. Do it again. Yeah, you got it. Yep. And that's why tractors are so handy to have around. They can do those kinds of jobs. I mean, we could spend hours cutting it down and trying to dig out the roots, or we could just take the tractor and just give it a few pulls and it pops right out. It doesn't always work, but sometimes you get lucky. This is called a 3-point hitch, and I'm going to attach my chain to it. Right here is about the midpoint. So I'm going to go across there, and then I'll bring this under here. And then I want the chain to exit through the middle, like that. So now, I'll take my other end, and I'll do the same thing. I'll come around the under, just like that. So now, I have two chains exiting out through the center, and they should be about the same length. Here are my two sides. They're about the same length. One's a little bit longer than the other, but it doesn't matter. What's important is that we're pulling from 2 points, firmly attached, and that they're equal. Okay, somewhere back in there is a trunk, and I can't see it because there's so many branches in the way. So I'm going to go ahead and lop off some of this lower stuff. There's got to be a bush in there somewhere. Oh, there it is. This is ideal because it comes up out of the ground and then it spreads like this and goes up like that. Those are the best because you can get the chain around those, and when you do a choke set, that chain's not going to come off. And so all the force of the tractor will just pull that right out. It was hard to see what I just did there, but what I did is I took a chain and I wrapped it down low as possible around the root, brought it back, and then hooked it onto itself. Okay, that's called a choke set. And then I took the other side and I did the same thing from the opposite direction, brought it around back on itself and hooked it to itself. So now I've got a double choke set, 2 points of contact, and a tractor with sufficient horsepower to pull this thing out.
Gonna get that end, I'll get this end.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead and pull straight out. Right up over and in the pile.
That side and this side. I'll take yours, you take mine.
Yeah. Okay, here's your side. Your side needs to go on your chain line. That one needs to go on this chain.
There's yours.
There we go.
Alrighty. You do it up as high as you can or back as far as you can?
I do it back as far as I can and as low as I can. Don't worry, we'll be putting new plants in the ground when this is over.
Yes. I have one hook. It's underneath.
Okay.
Do you have a hook over there somewhere?
I do, yeah. We buried that one pretty good, didn't we?
We did.
Okay, that one I can't get to.
Okay.
Let's see if we... Okay, here's one.
There's one.
Yep. The other one should be on your side. Headed this way.
Okay. Got it.
Got it. Great.
There we go.
All right. Clear. Take it away.
I can't do it alone.
Oh, is that heavy?
It is heavy.
Just the road is in them. All right, here we go. Wow. Here's one.
It is underneath there. Do you see it?
I do. Let's see if I can pop that loose. There we go. If you're
Alrighty.
contemplating taking out shrubs in your yard, I know everybody isn't in a position to own a tractor. It's not for everybody. But if you need bushes pulled out, it really is worthwhile to bring somebody in who has the right machinery to do the job, because as you can see, it just takes a moment of time. Boom, and the thing is out. If you tried to do this by hand, you'd be at it for hours, just, you know, digging and cutting and digging and cutting. It's just not worth it. This is so much better. That little guy right there is a lot smaller than most of the plants we pulled out today. Now the big plants are easy because you've got a nice big root ball at the bottom you can grab a hold of, but these little ones, oftentimes the choke will just slide right off and go over the top. So we don't know if this will work, but let's find out.
Yes, it's working. Woohoo! Ooh, nice and easy. I don't know how well this one's gonna work. It's a lot of little sticks in the way. It's worth a try though.
I've been skeptical about pretty much the last 3 bushes we pulled out, and they all came. So if ever there was a bush to be skeptical about, it's got to be that one.
we got a lot of accomplished. There are a few spots that we couldn't get with the tractor. We'll have to dig those out somehow. That's one of them and that's another one, but this is all cleared out. Got to get those bricks out of there and some of those roots. And over here we got some of them. This one did not completely come out. The roots are all still right there. We'll have to dig that one out. This one came out pretty good. And these came out pretty good. I'm liking the progress. We did pretty good today. That came out. We got a little bit of roots. Notice how the ground goes way up. We gotta level it out some more. There's some more roots. Another one we have to dig out because if you look under here, you can see there's just a lot of little branches. Can't get the chain around it. And then over here, we have, most of it's gone. This is just a single stick. We'll have to dig that out. These roots are in there pretty good. Hopefully we can find a way to get those out. I'm hoping we don't have to just dig. Maybe we can get some equipment or something in there. That looks like it'll be a hard challenge. And then we have this little stringy one as well. Just a few branches on that one. So it's pretty good for a day's work. You've seen the front of the house. What do you think would make a really good appearance in the front of the Victorian? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching 1834 Restoration House. If you like this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe. It helps our channel, and tell all your friends. We love to hear from them as well.